Look, if you're an executive, your entire job revolves around making high-stakes decisions. But what happens when all that pressure leads to the one thing you absolutely can't afford? Inaction. Today we're going to break down a really powerful mental reset to fight that analysis paralysis. And this isn't just some vague theory. It's a practical switch you can actually flip to get back in control when it matters most.
Does this sound familiar? You're staring down a critical choice. Maybe it's a multi-million-dollar investment, a huge strategic pivot, or a product launch that could make or break the quarter. And you just find yourself completely stuck, agonizing over every single possible outcome until you end up doing nothing at all.
And here's what you need to understand. That paralysis, it's not a character flaw. It's not you failing. It's actually a predictable neurological response. Your brain's command center, the prefrontal cortex, is basically glitching. It's getting overloaded by the pressure of trying to control every little variable. When stress hormones like cortisol flood your system, they literally jam up the rational part of your brain. It's like a biological traffic jam, not a personal weakness.
So if the problem is a biological glitch, then the solution has to be a mental reset, right? And for that, we're going to look at this incredibly powerful, time-tested concept from Japan that feels like it was engineered for exactly these moments.
The concept is Shikata ganai. Now, you might see it translated as "it cannot be helped," but honestly, that's way too passive. Think of it less as just giving up and more as a strategic reallocation of your energy. It's the disciplined, intentional act of figuring out what's truly outside of your control, so you can stop wasting precious resources fighting it. And this is exactly why it's such a game changer for a busy executive. You can think of it like a mental circuit breaker. Right when your mind is just a mess of anxieties and what-ifs, Shikata ganai is the tool you use to just cut the noise and get that clarity back, instantly.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? This isn't some fuzzy philosophy. It's a concrete, three-step process, and it's designed to take you from that neurological glitch straight back to a state of focused control.
So here's the process in a nutshell. First, you acknowledge reality. You just accept the cold, hard facts of what's happening. Second, you cut the worry loop. This is where you consciously stop that unproductive what-if spiral. And third, you redirect to action. You pivot all of your attention to what you can actually control right now. Let's break each of these down.
All right, step one is all about radical acceptance. Let's imagine a total C-suite nightmare. A really damaging story about your company just broke in a major newspaper. The reality is, the story is out there. You can't unpublish it. Panicking, getting mad, wishing it didn't happen, all of that is a complete waste of your energy. The first step is to just state the fact without any emotion. The story has been published. That's it.
Now, step two is about stopping that downward spiral. Your brain is immediately going to jump to all the consequences. Oh my gosh, what will the board say? How will the market react when the bell rings? Is our biggest client going to pull their contract? This what-if loop is absolutely toxic. Shikata ganai is the act of recognizing this for what it is, unproductive noise, and consciously cutting it off. It's draining the very mental resources you need to solve the actual problem.
And this brings us to the final, most empowering step, redirection. Okay, so you've accepted reality, and you've cut the noise. Now what? What is actually within your immediate control? You can't unpublish that article, but you can get your crisis communications team on a call. You can draft an internal memo to reassure your employees. You can prepare talking points for the investor call. This is where your power is.
Let's just look at this side by side, because the difference is huge. On the left, you have that typical overthinking loop. It's all focused on what-ifs, and it just leads to wasted energy and total paralysis. But on the right, you have the Shikata ganai reset. The focus is on what is. That conserves your mental energy and leads you straight to decisive, focused action. I mean, the difference is night and day.
You know, understanding the idea is one thing, but making it an instinct, making it your automatic response, that's what really creates change. And that's why we need a simple checklist, a tool to help you hardwire this reset so you do it without even thinking.
Okay, here's your crisis checklist. The next time the pressure hits, do this. First, identify the fact. Anchor yourself by just stating the unchangeable reality out loud. Second, interrupt the spiral. Literally tell yourself out loud or in your head to stop the unproductive worrying. Third, ask yourself one simple question. What is the single most useful action I can take right now? And finally, execute that action. This simple loop is how you build the mental muscle.
When you boil it all down, this entire framework comes down to one fundamental truth about leadership and just being effective.
It's not about controlling the world around you, it's about controlling the one thing you actually can, your own focus.
This is the core principle right here. The market's going to do what it's going to do. Competitors will make moves. Crises will pop up. Those are all external forces. Your real power isn't in trying to prevent the storm. It's in mastering how you steer the ship right through the middle of it.
So here's the bottom line. The very moment you shift your attention away from what's broken, or in the past, or totally uncontrollable, and you put it onto your immediate, actionable next step, you reclaim your sense of power. Focus comes back, and anxiety just dissolves because you've starved it of its fuel.
So I'm going to leave you with this question. What is the one uncontrollable outcome, that one what-if spiral that's draining your energy right now? I want you to identify it, and then ask yourself, what are you going to do with all that focus you get back once you decide to finally let it go?